Boom. Okay, there, recording. Tiffany and I have decided to team up for our team calls because we are all way better together, and two is better than one. So we thought it'd be fun for 2017 for our teams to start masterminding together and jumping on Zoom calls, everything like that. So moving forward, our teams are going to be doing our Zoom calls together and then our glimpse into coaching calls also, which we have on Thursday. So be sure to mark your calendar for that and be inviting people there. I have a post, just my personal plan is I have a post that I will be talking about the call tomorrow. And then I'll do another last call on Thursday. So feel free to use that if you'd like, but just keep that in the back of your mind. So tonight we are going to be talking all about objections. We've all had them. We will probably still continue to have them. And so we just want to be as well equipped for them when they come as possible so that it doesn't really, make us upset or kind of bring us to a halt in the conversation when they do happen, because they're going to happen. I want you to go ahead and change your mindset. Objection, the word comes across very negative. It doesn't have to be negative. An objection is just simply a question. And it's evident that the other person doesn't have the knowledge about whatever you're talking about. So really, it's just an opportunity for us to learn more and then talk more and explain more to these people about whatever we're talking about, whether it may be a challenge group, a challenge pack, Shakeology, a program, any of our supplements, anything like that. It's simply an opportunity for us to explain more to them because they just simply don't know. So we're going to talk at the beginning just how to, posture ourselves. Wow, that sounded really, really good. Ourselves as we, approach these objections from people. And then we have some objections at the end, specific ones that y'all said that y'all get a lot, that we're going to kind of attack. And then we have an idea on what we're going to do after this call is we're going to create just a little document, like a Google Doc, where we're going to write all this down, and we're going to have for y'all a place to go and look. Say that you get an objection on money or Shakeology or program, you can go to this document and just kind of refresh your brain. But we're hoping that this call is going to help give you more confidence and give you more ways to handle these objections as they come. So first and foremost, you have to be confident when talking to people in general. So when you message someone, and even just to take it a little further, when you're posting, people can read how you are talking, even through a phone or a computer screen. It's evident if you're hey, ... just wanted to see if you would be interested. People know that you're hesitant. So if you're going to be hesitant, they're going to be hesitant. So make sure that you are confident in whatever you're bringing to the table, whether it's asking them how they're doing, whether it's posting, whether it's inviting them, or even when they give you that objection, when you're answering them, make sure to have that confidence. You want to be so confident in our products and our programs that it doesn't faze you, and it doesn't come across that it phases you that they're asking you a question. Confidence is going to be different than, cocky or anything negative that you may be afraid of when answering an objection. I think that a lot of times we clam up, right? We'll have an objection to money. I think that's money and time, I think, are the two biggest objections that we get. And we'll go over those in a second. But when people give us an objection, I think that we clam up because we deep down believe it. So that's part of the confidence. Like you have to believe and be so confident in the price that we have and every product that we have that it's not going to like bother you, and it's not going to make you be like, oh yeah, you're right, it's way too expensive. You're right. Go elsewhere. Because people, even if you don't say it like that, people are going to take that. They're gonna read through the screen and know that you don't feel very confident on it. So be sure to, you know, if you don't know something, it's okay, but own up to that and be confident whenever you respond. Like a good example would be this. Honestly, I'm not sure about that question, but all I know is that it has helped me here, or I will be more than glad to go look that up for you. And I sometimes will send people videos or things like that because they have questions that I don't necessarily know. We say we don't have to be experts, and we really don't. We just have to be confident. Like it's going to just keep the conversation at like a higher level of positivity versus bringing it down to a negative of what sometimes an objection comes across to be. What was I going to say? Oh, so kind of going off of the confidence, I touched on it a little bit, but we have to believe 110% hands down in our products, in the prices. Okay. So I'm going to say it again, in the prices, we have to believe that it's there for a reason. Shakeology is priced the way that it is because of every single thing that's in it. If we're being honest, it's priced a little too low because there are so many things in it, and it's so pure that if they truly charged what it probably is worth, no one would be able to afford it. Like it is, there's even, I mean, and I'm sure you've seen it after you work out and they have those little commercials, whatever, they have the breakdown of what it would cost to get all the superfoods, probiotics, prebiotics, vitamins, everything like that. It is seriously like top of the line. I saw this in one of Tiffany's posts. She said it's like the gold medal of all shakes because it truly is. So we have to believe that. And like, I believe that fully. I know Tiffany believes that fully. So when anyone comes to me about Shakeology, it does not bother me if they think it's too expensive because I know it's not. Like, and you have to get to that point. You have to get to the point where anything, the all access pass, you can't think that it's too expensive. And honestly, I don't think anyone does think it's too expensive because we all know it's a steal. Like you're literally getting 700 plus workouts plus any new workout we release for literally $199. But in reality, that's $69 because Shakeology is $130. That is insane. And so you have to have that confidence when you're talking about Shakeology too. And so those are my two biggest tips. And then I'm going to pass it over to Tiffany, but just be confident and believe in this product because Beachbody Corporate truly, truly, truly wants the best for everybody. And that includes customers and also as coaches as we are presenting these products to people. So they are not having these prices high to make it harder on us. They're giving what's best, and we can rest assured in that. So, Tiffany, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Okay. I'm going to add something to that because you're so right in saying that like it technically could be a lot higher, which side note is also why Beachbody does not put the labels of non-GMO, gluten-free, and those kind of things on their products because if you guys don't have or haven't listened to the Shakeology podcast, man, this stuff is like golden nuggets to the T, just knowing your facts about your products. And I feel like, knowledge and knowing facts is so beneficial for your business. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, but just a side note, the reason we don't have those kind of labels on our products is because the people that Darren O'Lean, who's the founder of Shakeology, the people that he uses for the products that are in Shakeology are from these remote third world countries and villages, that all their methods of farming and growth of our products are very, very high in like, they have like certain stipulations and certain protocols and, you know, things that they go by and want their products at, you know, in terms of like Darren O'Lean, like, you know, picking his products. And they're all so, I guess they're made in such good places that they don't necessarily need, they don't need the, what is it called? Like, they don't need the label, because if Darren O'Lean, like, said, like, wanted to buy this product from this farmer and made this farmer get a non-GMO license or a gluten-free license, it would actually make the product be more expensive. So, you know, he has these like stipulations that he goes by, and then he's able to get these products for a lesser price, which in return gives it to us as customers for a, you know, a more cost-efficient price. So that's just like a little, you know, fun fact for the day. What I'm going to be talking about, and like I said, we're kind of covering two things, and then we're going to hit more in detail, like objections that you guys posted. So Jamie talked about confidence, and then I'm going to talk about, you know, adding your personal story versus giving facts. I think both are great. I think it's wise to know like when to use them, depending on like what the objection or discussion is from the person that you're talking to. For me, I think that people want to know, you know, when somebody asks, like, says why it's too expensive, or, you know, says that, you know, they're doing something else, or, you know, has the objection of, you know, they have a product from Walmart, or, you know, they're using this product that's, you know, $50 less. I always try to revert back, and this is kind of where that knowledge part comes in, knowing your story. So like knowing why you're confident in the product you sell and why you believe in it so much and how it's affected you. Because if it hasn't affected you and you can't tell somebody why you think Shakeology is like, there's nothing else like it, then you don't know how to like fully believe in it, right? So it's like, you know, you see these coaches who like tell their story over and over. Like, I feel like I know Stephanie Chico's story because I've read it so many times because she says it all the time. So it's like, we have to get to the point as coaches where, you know, somebody says like, this is expensive, and you can rebuttal in a respectful way of like, you know what, like, and, you know, and I try to use my personal story. So for like me, when somebody says like Shakeology is too expensive, I tell them I had $36 left in my bank account when I bought Shakeology, my challenge pack. So like, I technically did not have the money, but when I looked at my budget, because I was like on a super strict budget, I was at the point in my life where like I had to make it work. You know, like I was at my wit's end. I felt like nothing was working. I wasn't losing weight. You know, I had like that mom gut that I was just like frustrated with, and I, you know, just hated. And so I got to the point where I was just like, I need something to work. You know, something needs to work. And I had seen somebody post consistently, and that's Kate. And so I went for it. I was like, hey, whatever this is, I'm going to do it. Right. I just wanted something to work. And so when I talk to people, I let them know, like, I did not have like this abundance of money to go out and, you know, purchase all this stuff, but it was important. My health was important enough to me, and the way I looked and the way I felt was important enough to me that I figured it out in my budget. Like, I stopped and I stopped going to convenience stores when I went to San Antonio. I started drinking my Shakeology. I stopped, you know, stopping at Starbucks for, you know, 400 calorie drinks, because if I was going to be paying $130 for, you know, my health, then I wasn't going to, you know, add these like liquid calories that were doing nothing for me, that was only going to, you know, I guess be the opposite of what I was trying to accomplish. So I try to tell people those kinds of things to let them know, like, you're not in this alone, but at the same time, like, there's a way to budget this in. You know, if you're, you know, and I give people the option of like, if you're drinking this for lunch and you go out to eat, like, out to eat is $7. Shakeology is a little over $4. So in the end, if you're really, you know, if you're really struggling with your budget and you really want this to work, it can. You just have to find places that you're willing to cut in order to be, you know, let this be beneficial to you. So that's kind of the area of adding your personal story. And then also like giving facts. I know I was talking about the Shakeology podcast. But guys, like if I don't know something, like Jamie said, like I'll go on YouTube, I'll watch a video. I've actually like watched interviews of people that like with Darren Aline, because I think that's the biggest thing is like the Shakeology part. And it's like, I don't know why, like it makes me feel good about my business if I like really know what I'm selling. You know, like I don't want to ever like, and sometimes it happens, like I get stuck on something somebody asked me and I have to go look it up. Or I want to give them like the exact answer or the exact amount of sugar or the exact amount of whatever that they're asking for. So I'll tell them like, hey, I know that like, I think the, you know, vanilla is like around like 7 grams, you know, 6 grams of sugar, but I need to look for the chocolate. Like totally, I'm totally okay with saying that. But listening to like Shakeology podcast and looking up interviews on YouTube with Darren Aline, all those things are only going to help you sound like and look like you know your crap. You know, like you know what you're selling, you know what's in your products, you know that adaptogens like help your hormones balance out, and you know what prebiotics and probiotics, and you start to like gain this understanding. So it's like once you're more knowledgeable in all this stuff, then it's easier to talk to people. You know, I just had a girl tell me, and the only, it's kind of funny, like I knew about adaptogens, but I didn't know too much. Like I kind of knew a little bit. I mean, I was listening on my way to Houston about, I was listening to the Shakeology podcast, and the next day I had a girl tell me, man, I feel like I've just been up and down, like my hormones have been all over the place. I don't have a blender at like our deer camp. Can I just like shake my shake? And I was like, yeah. And I was like, and actually, it's interesting that you say that. I was listening to something yesterday that told me that this ingredient in Shakeology, she was like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy. I bet that's exactly why. And so, I mean, it was just kind of cool to be able to give her like a fact about the product that she's drinking that I wouldn't have known if I wouldn't have like, you know, kind of dug into it a little bit deeper. So that's kind of what I have on personal stories and, you know, knowing your facts so that you can be a product of the product and be able to have conversations more, I guess, like fluently with people. And that only comes with time, you know, like I don't expect everybody to know like I don't know every ingredient in Shakeology, but you're only going to, I guess, learn more as you go. And so Jamie, do you want to talk about like specific objections? Do you mean to just go into mine, the 2 that I have?
Yeah, I have one other thing to add that I just remembered that I do that I think is going to be helpful too. When we post about Shakeology and when we post about anything, what I try to do is I try to think about those objections that people give me. And so I'll post about how I afford it. I post about how it's cheaper than Chick-fil-A. And pretty much at that point, it kind of gives people like they can't give that objection again. Like, you know what I mean? So I heard actually, I think Bonnie Engel did a call about that one time, and I was listening, and she was just saying, I literally wrote out every single objection I've ever heard, and what I did, and this is what we can do after we create this doc, is like you start creating your post based on those objections and based on the rebuttals. So if you don't have time, there's no excuse. 22-minute hardcore, 22 minutes, like things like that. Like you, and like with Shakeology, with it being too expensive, that's where we can like talk about our knowledge, and we can talk about, like she said, not stopping. Anytime I go on a road trip, I make sure to put a picture of Shakeology and be like, I'm not going to stop for food because it's 1, cheaper and 2, healthier for me. So it's like things like that. Like they may seem silly, but like people really are watching you. So those are those little bitty things, like little bitty nuggets that would be good and helpful when people are having these objection thoughts. So yeah, Tiffany, if you want to, we can go ahead and go into the specific objections that they asked about. And then if y'all have any questions, we can, do that too. But let me pull them up really fast.
So I kind of already talked about like the money situation and that, everybody's different, and everybody has their own personal story, but, that's kind of where you add you in. So the objection with money is, and Jamie and I talked about this on the phone earlier, is, believing in your product and try, Jamie said something earlier, and she might can say it better, when she was talking to somebody, she offers the challenge pack, and she lets them know, like, as your coach, like, I want to give you what's going to benefit you the most. And from my experience, Shakeology and working out is what has gotten me the best results. And I feel like I'd be doing you a disservice to not recommend this to you. And it's like, and I know Jamie said, she said something like, you know, they're like, oh, like that's legit. Like, she's my coach. Like, she's recommending the best of the best. Like, she's not shortchanging me. And I think that's really important. So really just believe me in your product. And then also, I was telling Victoria this yesterday, not letting like the thing of like, I don't have enough money stop the conversation. So if, you know, somebody says like, you know, that's really not my budget, like Christmas really got me this year, or, you know, I'm trying to pay off this, you know, and so like the shake is just too expensive for me right now. I always ask, because I don't want them to think that like, because they're not spending this much money, then I don't care about them. So if I've already offered Shakeology and the challenge pack, and I've already told them that this is what's best, my next option is going to straight up, what can you afford? Like, what's in your budget? What can we work with? Like, what's going to help you get, you know, to at least start your journey, you know? Because I don't want them to think like, unless you buy a challenge pack, you can't be my challenge group. Like, I want them to know, like, I'm here for you. This is your journey. So like, let's work with your budget. Let's figure out what this can do. And then they can still say no, but this is where those free groups come in, because then you're still not stopping. So it's like, you've offered them a challenge pack. No. You've offered, what's your budget? What can we work with? They don't answer. You come up with a free group and message them and say, hey, I'm having a free, right? Because that's what they want. And that just shows them that you're there for them. You're not there for the money. You're not there for just the selling of a product to get commission. You're truly there for their health. And I think that speaks volumes compared to a lot of other businesses out there. You know, you're not sending the link and then never talking to them again. So that's kind of my like steps towards like objections of money. And then the other objection that was talked about in Jamie's group was other shakes, like, you know, Walmart shakes, or this shake's cheaper, or I get this. And, you know, my two rebuttals to those things are, that's when knowing my facts about what's in Shakeology and completely believing in the fact that I've never found anything else out there that has this much full nutrition and superfoods and is no artificial flavors. I was actually standing in the pharmacy line yesterday, and I was all along the line was all these like protein powders, right? And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to see like what the crap is in it. Because I used to drink that stuff. I did. Like when I was in college, I didn't know about Shakeology, even though I did the Insanity workouts and completely fast forwarded through that last part. I just drank whey protein like at Walmart or whatever. And so I started looking. It was like artificial this preservative, this extract, this, you know, and it was like all just crap. Oh, $19.95. Well, no freaking wonder, you know? And so it's like when people give me the objection of like, oh, I have this shake, I'm like, well, this is why. Like, I'm only going to be a part of something that is going to benefit the person I'm selling to all the way around completely. And no other business out there, I don't care if it's Avocare, Plexus, whatever, do they give you a community? Do they give you a place to be supported daily? They have not only, you know, products like Shakeology, but they also have a workout. And so it's, you know, a lot of these things like Plexus and stuff, they're like, okay, here's your 47 supplements, go, you know? And it's like, I tell people that, like when I'm talking to them and I'm like, you know, the one thing that I loved and the reason that I decided to be a part of this and start my journey through Beachbody is because I'm a mom, I'm busy, I don't have time to have a schedule that says at 10 a.m. you do this, at 12 a.m. you do this, then you need to take this, and then you need to take this, and here's your 17 pills. Like, I wanted something simple and realistic and doable, and I have one shake a day, and I follow a simple 30-minute routine, and I do the best I can to cook healthy for my family, you know? And so that's my rebuttal towards other products and other shakes, because I haven't found anything else out there that even compares to what Beachbody is offering you as a whole, you know. And I think people, I mean, yes, people want the quick fix, but being very like, you know, transparent about that and letting people know like that doesn't work. And I know most people know that, even though they still try, you know, and just being honest with people. So that's kind of my take on that. And, you know, going back to knowing your product so that you can talk to people about it.
Yeah. So good. The ones I'm going to talk about, the first one is I have a gym membership, and well, I'm going to kind of lump them all together. I have a gym membership that's going to make me go. I'm doing Camp Gladiator, CrossFit, all that stuff. For me personally, when people say they're doing that, I still invite them into my groups. Because like Tiffany has said, I want people to understand that we are not just fitness. We are not just health. We're the whole package. We're community. We're results. That's what we are. And I do not see a problem, you know, with that. However, Tiffany and I were talking about this. If some people are gym rats, and that is okay. Like I think one thing to remember when thinking about objections, when we respond to an objection, it is not our job to keep responding until their mind is made up. Our job is simply to just give them our story and our facts, because ultimately they have to decide. And so we want to come across as someone who cares about them. And that's why we want to still invite them to our free groups and into our groups. So if someone is saying paying for gym membership is going to make me go, I mean, I would even maybe, depending on how well I knew them, I would say, okay, well, that makes sense. But wouldn't paying for a program in Shakeology do the same thing? Like I would but I would probably joke it off. Like I'm not one that's going to say like what you're doing is wrong and you have to do what we're doing, because I understand that everybody is different. But you got to understand too that it's okay to still offer them the whole solution. I have people that drink Shakeology that work out at the gym, that run half marathons. Tiffany says that she has people that do Camp Gladiator or CrossFit and they drink Shakeology. And I know that that's sometimes hard, but I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with it. And honestly, too, what I would do at that point is really ask questions. If someone has told me, oh, I'm doing this, I'm always like, okay, well, I'm really into health and fitness. Like, tell me more about why you like it. Why do you enjoy going to the gym so much? Like, are you seeing results? And if they are, then I celebrate with them. And if they're not, then it's like an opportunity for me to invite them into a group. So always, always, always ask questions. Keep the conversation going. Do not make them feel uncomfortable, but ask questions to make them show that, like, you're not just asking them to join the group and as soon as they say, oh, I'm sorry, I'm doing Camp Gladiator, you're out. No, like, make sure that they're being taken care of, and that's going to speak volumes about you and your business. So
well, and also a lot of people that do, like, you know, that go to the gym or, you know, Camp Gladiator, CrossFit, like they still need a supplement. They still want that daily dose of nutrition or vitamins or whatever. And so that's an opportunity to say, like, well, hey, like, what are you drinking anything? You know, like, do you have like a meal replacement? Do you have like supplements that you take? You know, like, do those cost you? Because I know my boyfriend he has supplements, and I mean, they're pricey. They're up there. And it's, you know, if they're stacking on this and this and this, you know, it's an option, you know?
Yeah.
So don't ever roll that out.
And that's just like, I think the beauty of asking questions. And so just keep that in mind. One of my favorite objections is I'm never going to pay like that for a protein shake. And that like makes my skin crawl because it's not a protein shake. Shakeology is not a protein shake. And I'm not going to get back on the Shakeology thing because Tiffany did an amazing job on it. But I just want to encourage y'all, know your knowledge is power, and know your facts about Shakeology. I always talk about it's my multivitamin, and everything that's in it. It's not just protein. It would be way too expensive if it was just protein. I'll agree with them on that. I think everyone will agree with them on that because it's not just protein. That's why Recover is not as expensive as Shakeology because anyway. So it's kind of off subject. I don't even know why I thought about that. Okay, so Katie, I'm going to answer what you said. So that kind of covers pretty much in a nutshell. We have about 2 minutes left. So I'm just going to cover really fast where you talked about, you asked, you know, you're having conversations. How do you, you know, organically get that into talking about Beachbody, or if people aren't asking how you're doing, if whatever it is. I guess I would just say, when you're talking to people, make sure that it's a genuine conversation to like see how they're doing. For me, and make sure that like if you're starting a conversation with people, they would know your name. And I'm not saying like they need to know you in person. I start tons of conversations with people that have never met me in person. But what I do is I will it's kind of creepy, but I'll go to their page and kind of like dig up some stuff to figure out what I'd have in common with them. And that's what I'll talk to them about to get the conversation going. And so I don't always, you know, it's not always going into Beachbody. Like a great example is I was talking to this one girl. I've talked to her probably for the past 5 months. She's been pregnant, and I've just talked to her about that. I have not brought up Beachbody. She's a friend of mine, so I'll post up. She'll see it. She's never liked, never commented. And then she just had her baby about a month ago, and she commented on my post 2 days ago, and I talked about new moms. And so, you know, that's the importance of posting. So, like, you want people to see your life, but also your opportunities you're offering too. So don't feel like you're going into a conversation to change it to Beachbody, because that's going to make you feel really uncomfortable. It's going to make them feel really uncomfortable. So just make sure you're building the relationship first and foremost. We have less than a minute. So Katie, we can talk about that at another time too, just to for actual examples. But I'm excited. I hope that this helped answer y'all's questions. If you have any more questions, let us know. I'll send this to you, Tiffany, whenever it's done. But thank y'all for getting on. We will start that
picture.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Oh man, it's less than a minute. I gotta hurry. Okay, everyone smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I think I got it. Thanks for getting on.
Yay!
Have a good night.
Yeah,